Hello there, this is me, Matt McMahon. I'm here today to read you a poem I made for a contest that unfortunately I did not win. The name of this poem is My Kindred Kin, obviously by me. Note that this will be one of 4 poems I will be reading today. So without further ado, let us begin. I could start with the things that are petty, the things of no use. But those things that elate me, their structure's too loose. No real thought, no passion, and no feeling can be found. These things aren't eternal, they won't always stick around. Instead, I'll spare you the pesky frivolity. I'll give you something with tremendous quality. Something that when pondered I perpetually adore. Something that when given you needn't ask for more. It's the love and embrace I get from my kin. The good times, the laughter, the moments I grin. But I grin with excitement, with love, and with bliss. My family means so much. Our moments I won't miss. Times of sadness and sorrow may slither their way through, but they won't last too long, those occasions never do. To be more specific, my family is terrific. The joking and uniting will forever top the fighting. Sometimes we're far in distance and without a friend. In those examples we feel lonely, but the loneliness will end. Infatuation is for losers, the real love is here. This love is not for a colleague, it's not for a peer. It's for a brother, a sister, a mom, or a dad. An uncle, an aunt, or any blood you have or have had. It's not to be discarded, and it's no dying fad. It's what you can rely on through the good and the bad. There's a notion I'll now give to end this poem. Family is for life, and there's no place like home. So that was poem 1. I hope you enjoyed. Up next is a poem I have to rework from my last video because I felt like I didn't do it justice in reading it. It's a chaotic jumbling of words that has a stupidly long and unappealing title. So you want to be unique. Don't take defeat as an answer. You may be a Libra, but you can hang out with a Cancer. This is what you want me to say, for this is what you are told. In reality, you'll cower for making a stance that's too bold. Desperation's for the weak, begging's for sycophantic fakers. Don't get with the crowd, get with the nonconformist money rakers. Critics will critique at the tongue-in-cheek. Generations of old will be bitter and cold. Dr. Seuss is for chumps. Get on the Shakespearean tier. It's the paradoxical popsicle that nobody will go near. Why come close to William's glory? Why even try? Well, why not? He's just some old dead guy. I mean, sure, he wrote poetry and rewrote some plays, but most were tragic and so wordy that hours felt like days. What I'm trying to say is beware of all that's not you. You could also read a book. That's cool too. Up next is a bit of an odd poem. It's called The Being of Seeing. Once you hear it, you'll know why. So let's get to it. Whisper a thought and watch it fade. Grab it and squeeze it into fresh whisperade. When it's contained, there's a thing to do next. Drink it and listen as your words become hex. What was once a hello becomes incoherent and confusing. Your grasp on sanity you slowly are losing. You become one with the ether, your form is now dust. Now that you're supernal, you wonder whom you can trust. There seems to be an absence of beings like you. Can you even communicate? Is there anything to do? Maybe you shouldn't be listening to me. Feelings humans feel are now only what you see. If only there was a way to be what you once were, then maybe you'd be happy, and to that I concur. Well, a way there is, and that way I will tell. But more thought and effort is required for this spell. Think of a moment you were happy the most. A moment you had limbs and were not like a ghost. If that moment comes to mind, what is next you must follow. Find a place that is cramped, like a tree that is hollow. Then summarize the moment into 1 or 2 phrases. Think it over and over till your human body phases. Enter your body and shout what you suffed. Don't you remember? You were human, and your body just puffed. Regardless, yell that thought, and you'll return to the past. Go relive what you missed, and don't feel abashed. Wasn't this a journey we went through quite a hash? The only gift I'll give now is a card or some cash. Now see what I mean? That was kinda weird. Anyway, let's move on to the next poem. This poem is titled, A Tunnel's Light. It's about bullying. Bullying is a play on a stage, and the ending can vary. The emotions and feelings are what mostly carry. Whether one participates, commiserates, or complicates does not matter. The victim is the one on the social ladder. Dangling by a finger, there's little time to linger. The fears are towering, the pain is self-devouring. There's the one who won't cease, the self-confidence that'll decrease. The abusing and diminishing, the torture that's not finishing. It's all taken in and eventually will combine. The reason to live becomes a barren mind. You dig and the result is small. At this point you wonder when you'll find nothing at all. Have hope, you'll find plenty, and the results will surprise. There's no way you can measure all the reasons that arise. Things will get better, the worst you won't see. Your life is now a sapling, but soon it will be a tree of prosperity and a tree of knowledge. Your tree has a diploma from the most prestigious college, the college you went to inside of your mind, where learning is endless and everyone is kind. It may be a fantasy, but it will always be there. The bully that bullies you will eventually not care. Moving on to something greater, but probably mundane. The hero has triumphed and the beast has been slain. So the lesson that is learned is the lesson of hope. Your life's a roller coaster, not a slippery slope. Now on to the fifth and last poem. If you didn't know, I like green, as, all my videos kind of indicate. Anyway, this poem is about green, and longing for it, as if it were gone. And I'm describing it without using sight. Funny how that works, right? Oh yeah, it's called Longing for Green. Now on to the poem. The world has been dealt an incredible loss. No more hush in the trees. No more life in the moss. For the world has lost the color called green. The darker once humble, the lighter serene. Gone is the taste of sweet, bitter, and tang. Gone is the lullaby it delicately sang. No more is the cluster of beautiful aroma, so strong and so fresh it could wake a deep coma. Its lush and felt texture like a sunflower's stem. The intricate detail of a lovely bright gem. It could scream of insanity, yet softly preach peace. The hues of this color were like weaving soft fleece, intensely varied with complexly deep rapport. But this color wasn't everything you could ever ask for. It can make you quite jittery and keep you quite roused. In its liquid form it would ravage when doused. When boiled it oozed with searing viscosity. When hardened again what remained was atrocity. But like all of the colors, if properly cared, it brought up no issues. Men needn't be scared. I mean, not to single out one gender in specific. Any race, creed, or gender can think it's terrific. Green once symbolized what we could do. When we looked at a color and from it things grew. With green now deceased it has left us bereft. We never said goodbye, without notice it left. But if given enough time it changes not one thing. No more will we feel the prosperity it can bring. So those were my 5 poems. I hope you enjoyed, and by the way, there won't be that silly outro I do, because this is a serious video, and a silly outro would kind of be stupid. Instead, I'll give you a slightly less stupid and more badass kind of outro. So, bye. Productions. Yep, and I totally didn't rip off Suda51.